My name is Paolo, and together with Katie I rode the 765 kilometers between Lowestoft and St. David's in 2021. Please watch the introduction video in the playlist for more details. The entire journey took 10 days, and this video shows our ride on the 8th day from the town of Llandrindod, Wales to the town of Tregaron in Wales. There is a blog post available containing more details and pictures on icycle.com. The link to the post is in the top right corner now. If you have seen any of the previous videos, then you probably know what to expect from this one. We do understand that these are rather long, but they do cover every meter of the way, and breaking them down into smaller chunks would be just too time consuming. Thank you for your support and patience. We hope these videos may be of help to you if you decide to undertake the same journey. Please do pay us a coffee if you think they helped you somehow. If you have been following this series and our journey from east to west, you know that this is part of a newly established pilgrimage route called the Via Beata. As with many pilgrimage routes, it was first created as a walking route. And it is important for you to know that today's journey is not even close to the original walking route, which goes much further south than the route we took. Today's ride is the furthest from the walking route of the entire journey, so there were no way stations for us to admire. If you're watching this with the intention of walking the route, this video is likely not going to add much for you. Having said that, this was by far the most incredible and exciting day of the entire journey. You'll see us riding along the banks of several large man-made lakes, and the sheer beauty of the nature this day was breathtaking. If you're cycling, we do understand this is quite far away from the original path and adds quite a bit of mileage. So the benefit for you by watching this is to decide if this route is worth your while or not. For us, it was worth every meter of it. But as we had to cross a ford on foot, some points along this route, such as this ford, may pose some danger, depending on the time of the year, as they might be subject to the weather.
I completely agree with Paolo that this detour was well worth it. It was thanks to Cycling UK that we were routed to the Elan Valley, which is somewhere I hadn't heard of at the time, but have since come across a few times, most recently when reading one of Emily Chappell's books about cycling, called Where There's a Will. But even before we reach the valley, there are some lovely little tracks and gravel riding, as you'll see.
At this point, we met two young lads from Salisbury, who had been on their bikes for a month. Cool to see that in spite of their young age, they were riding old school bikes, a Dawes and a Raleigh. They are living proof that you need not spend vast amounts of money buying feather-light carbon bikes to get out and enjoy a long bike ride. We did offer to help fixing their flat tire, but they said they were fine. In a few seconds, you'll see us arriving at the next gate, and I thought a little note was appropriate. As Katie opens the gate, pay attention to a blue sign with the number 8 on it. This distinctive blue sign with a number is the hallmark of the UK's National Cycle Network. If you're British or a resident of the UK and into bikes, you'll be more than familiar with them. But just in case this video finds an audience elsewhere in the world, I would like to introduce you to this wonderful project. The UK's National Cycle Network, or NCN for short, began in 1977 when volunteers transformed a disused railway line into the Bristol and Bath bike path. This led to the creation of Sustrans, an acronym for Sustainable Transport, in 1983, and the development of the NCN between 1995 and 2000. By 2005, we had already reached 10,000 miles of signposted routes throughout the UK. The main criteria for a route to become part of the NCN is being suitable for an unsupervised 12-year-old child to ride on. And that's the main reason why in 2020 around a quarter of the NCN was scrapped on safety grounds, leaving over 12,500 miles of signposted routes remaining. That's about 20,500 kilometers. These are made up of 5,000 miles of traffic-free paths, with the remaining 7,500 miles on road. The network uses shared paths, disused railways, minor roads, canal towpaths and traffic calm routes in towns and cities. Although we hardly encountered any in this journey, another distinctive and unmissable sign of an NCN are Millennium signposts. They are made from cast iron and they are the average height of a man. 1,000 Millennium mileposts were funded by the Royal Bank of Scotland in 1998 to mark the creation of the National Cycle Network. And these are found along NCN routes throughout the UK. I'll leave links to the Sustrans webpage as well to the Wikipedia webpage about the NCN in the description below.
Just to say that yes, you did see me pushing my bike a moment ago. Wales is quite hilly and the panniers really weigh the bike down. By day 8, my legs were tired.
We're about to cross the road and enter a beautiful forest path, which is part of the National Cycle Route 81 and marks the entrance to the Elan Valley, an area of outstanding natural beauty. We will soon arrive at the Elan Valley Visitor Center, where I recorded a little video from the metal bridge crossing the river, while Katie was in the Visitor Center inquiring about the state of the route ahead. I'll leave a link to the Elan Valley webpage in the description below. It is well worth a visit. In Elan. The bridge bounces. It has a very strong bounce when a car goes by. But it is really, really beautiful here. That is the old retired bridge. Looks a little bit like the bridge in Florianopolis in Brazil, or the Golden Gate Bridge maybe. And this is the new bridge, if we can call it new. It is. Look at this. And we gotta go up there. Yeah. Well, that's Wales. And that's Katie. Hopefully we've all the information we need. Okay. Say bye.
I'd love to come back to this part of the country, not least as the Elan Valley has been designated as an international dark sky park. This means that it's protected to ensure that you can see the stars in all their glory, something that often isn't possible in the very light polluted UK.
We were down there before. This is the village of Elan Valley. Very rocky mountains, but astonishingly beautiful.
Turn toward me and look so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie. And underneath the rows of trees, I will see you where the ocean meets the sky. Under your toes, the fire grows. You are ready for a different kind of life.
Recording. It's not very good because this bag is right in front, but get a gist.
It's good to be reminded of this, not least because it probably looks to viewers of the video like we've been zooming past pedestrians at dangerous speeds. In fact, as you can now see, we were trundling along slowly and respectfully.
That natural light is so damn polite, can make you feel just like you were young again. Standing underneath the rows of trees, I can see where the ocean meets the sky. Under our clothes, a fire grows. We are ready for this life of running wild. We're running wild. Underneath the rows of trees, I will see you where the ocean meets the sky. Under your toes, the fire grows. You are ready for a different kind of life. You're shining forward, the wind is cold. You must return to the wild. You're shining forward, the wind is cold. You must return to the wild.
It really was beautiful, as you can see. This was on the 1st of August, so very much high summer, and we were particularly lucky with the weather on this day of the ride.
The body of water on the left is the Claerwen reservoir, formed by the Claerwen Dam, mainly built to supply fresh water to the city of Birmingham, the UK's second largest city. The dam was finished in 1952 and was given a late Victorian effect so that it blended in with the earlier dams in the valley. Italian stonemasons were employed as many British stonemasons were still at work in London during the post-war rebuilding process of the late 1940s. At this point we decided some drone footage was definitely needed to show the beauty of this reservoir. I confess I was a little afraid to fly the drone too high over water, as the winds were quite strong, which could have pushed the drone towards the center of the lake. And the drone has a small battery that only lasts about 20 minutes, so I decided to stick with better safe than sorry. It's the original DJI Mini drone, so somewhat limited in terms of power and capability, but more than enough when used by experienced people who know what they're doing and aren't afraid of losing the equipment, which isn't the case for me. The dam took 6 years to complete and was almost twice the size of the other dams in the Elan Valley. Officially opened by Queen Elizabeth II in 1952, it was one of her first royal engagements as a monarch. Water from the reservoir flows via an underground aqueduct to the Cabin Koch reservoir, from which it moves through a gravity aqueduct to Birmingham, about 90 miles away. We've met this lady with her dog, who was scouting for a long walk she was planning. She was just there, in silence, appreciating the sheer beauty of the place and the moment with her best friend. These types of people are becoming rare these days. Once she heard what we were doing, she was very complimentary about our trip. We're now definitely far away from the fence that when we say we started in Lowestoft, people's eyes widen. Another blink and you miss it moment. You may have just seen a couple of motorcyclists passing us by on their motocross bikes. Don't let the impression of isolation fool you. There is quite a lot of adventure traffic on these tracks, so do stay aware of your surroundings to avoid any accidents, as these bikes can come out of nowhere very fast. In a minute, we'll get to a ford. For those who may not be familiar with this word, is not the motor company brand. A ford is a shallow part of a river or stream that does not have a bridge, but can be crossed by foot, on horseback or by vehicle. We've been concerned about this ford since the start, because they can be notoriously unpredictable, as the volume of water that crosses through them can be very weather dependent, and not necessarily only because of the local weather. Rain miles away upstream can cause flood torrents downstream, which may cause the ford to be impassable or dangerous. As you'll see, this ford on this day was an absolute pleasure to cross, and we had fun doing it. But please be aware of this if you plan to ride on this route. That is Katie taking her shoes off. She's very smart. I am barefoot, and some of the rocks are very sharp, and we had to cross this. So I'm gonna walk it a little bit just to see how deep it is, and then we're gonna bring our bikes over. We may bring our bikes over there.
Yep. Have a look.
Okay,
here we go. The intrepid Paolo.
The stones are bloody
Yeah.
sharp. Woo! Cold! Actually gets quite nice. Once you go... Oh, there's some big boulders here.
Okay.
Big boulders. And loose.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong? Have you got your phone on you, Paolo?
No, you're holding it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. You're doing brilliantly, dear. Give us a wave.
The sandals would be perfect. I think I'm gonna take my sandals off from the pannier. Ouch, the boulders hurt. It's very shallow there.
Is it?
It's very shallow over there.
Is this the place to do
Very
it?
shallow over here.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, but it's very slippery. Very slippery. Don't step on this stone.
I almost missed that. I was looking in the wrong place.
It's very shallow here. It's a little bit deeper over there.
Okay, this looks good. Let's,
So this is the point.
yeah. Or maybe just to the right of there. Perfect.
Ouch. This is the point.
Good. Let's do it. But not on that big rock.
Yeah, don't step on that big rock. It's full of... very slippery.
This was such fun, and I have to say that I'm laughing out loud reliving it. I was very happy that it had been fairly dry for a few days, because we suspected that this innocent-looking stream could turn into something of a raging torrent. It would have been a depressingly long way to go if we'd had to backtrack, but we'd been reassured earlier in the day by a local that we would be absolutely fine crossing the ford, and he was proved correct.
Strikes like lightning. Got no words, I'm just drowning in attraction. Only one way to describe it. It's electric. Can you feel it? You got the only touch that takes me high. It's electric. I'm up in my feelings. Got double vision 'cause of you tonight. It's electric.
As you've just seen, the road wound up and up for quite some time, adding a further 450 metres of elevation to make over 1,000 metres in total, so this day vied with day 10 for the hilliest of the trip. This was followed by a big, fast descent, at the bottom of which is a little village whose name I'm afraid I'm not even going to pretend I can pronounce. But it was here that we saw an astonishing flock of at least 20 enormous red kites wheeling around in an updraft.
It's electric, intoxicate me like you do, yeah, like you do. It's electric, can you feel it? You got the only touch that takes me high. It's electric, I'm up in my feelings, got double vision 'cause of you tonight. It's electric.
This track we just entered is called Strata Florida Trail. It is apparently 26.9 kilometers long, but we only rode about 10 kilometers of it, and it turned out to be fabulous. Almost 10 kilometers of dead straight bike or walking path that took us almost all the way to the hotel. This trail takes its name after the ruins of the old Strata Florida Abbey in Ceredigion, Wales, some 4 kilometers or 2.5 miles away. Strata Florida is Latin for Vale of Flowers, and the abbey received this name from the white-robed Cistercian monks that established themselves on the lush meadows beside the banks of the river Taffy in 1201. The route we took passed some 2.5 kilometers away from the abbey itself, so it's up to you if you want to pay a visit or not. But note you'll have to ride back and forth on the same track to reach it. Access to the ruins is free and open to the public. I'll leave a link in the description below. In a few seconds, you'll see us arriving at the Talbot Hotel in Tregaron, which couldn't be more different from the previous hotel we stayed in. The room was cozy, with a shower so powerful it could almost knock you over. Dinner was also fabulous, with a very rich and creamy soup as a starter, and a great burger with a side salad as a main, ending up with a freestanding creme brulee, which was something new to both Katie and me. I hope our experiences helps you avoid making the same mistakes we've made, and if this video served you, please feel free to donate a coffee to help us with the costs of maintaining the blog and the work of producing this material. Depending on when you're watching this video, you may jump right into day 9 of our 10-day journey now. Thanks for watching.